For owners with embarrassing pet problems and nowhere left to turn, the Pet Shame Clinic has been open for business. Our next patient is on her way. Lynn Pettyfair is bringing her Great Dane Hope to see if we can sort out a major irritation. So this is Hope.
This is Hope.
She's the same size as me. Oh, she's like a little Shetland pony. So tell me all about her.
Hope's 4. She gets very itchy.
Oh, you poor little thing.
As soon as she stops doing something, she starts licking, scratching and everything else, so she's not getting the rest in between all the spells.
The mystery canine itching isn't just getting under Hope's skin. Owner Lynn has to get up close and personal with a soapy flannel on a regular basis.
Her eyes are usually quite yellow and runny and full of gunk. She also gets the discharge from her nose, and her ears need cleaning regularly because they're just bright red and raw inside where she's been scratching.
It's time to find out if Pet Shame vet Mark can offer any hope for Hope. And the bothered canine wastes no time showing Mark just where the itch is.
So, Lynn, is this sort of behaviour quite typical of Hope?
This is what she spends a lot of her time doing.
How many hours a day, do you think?
Whenever we're not out and about walking, she'll be lying down doing this.
OK, so we really need to find a cure for her.
Yes, please.
First, Mark wants to rule out one likely suspect.
Is Hope treated for fleas?
She's treated regularly for fleas.
OK.
Yeah.
And is she treated with stuff that you get from the vets?
Yes, always stuff from the vets.
OK, because it's really important to get stuff from the vets because you need a prescription to get stuff that works, which sounds weird. And why do people sell it? They sell it because they can.
With fleas crossed off the list, Mark moves on to another possibility.
Is there a pattern? I mean, does it happen seasonal or is it all the time?
It started off seasonal a couple of years ago, but recently I moved house, and since I've moved house, it's been constant.
OK, so that immediately tells us that it's probably something to do with something in the house.
Yeah.
Top of the list, house dust mite allergy.
With a specific allergy suspected, Mark suggests a plan of action.
House dust mite colonies actually start becoming dehydrated when the humidity is about 60% or less. OK, so a dehumidifier, very, very useful. Dry out the colonies and obviously they stop reproducing and you start killing them off.
But Mark's also got a more cutting-edge treatment up his sleeve.
With house dust mite allergies, a great solution is what's called immunotherapy. Right. And that's where we identify the allergen, which is the thing that's causing the allergic response, and we make a vaccine out of that allergen. And usually monthly, we give injections. It can take up to a year to work.
We'll be finding out how Hope is getting on with her itchy issues later. There's trouble down on farm in Devon, where Katie and Daniel have been enduring horrendous hog breath from their adult pet micro-pig, Rupert. Mark suspected nothing more than Rupert's love of stinky food. But to make sure it's not something more serious, he sent specialised local farm vet Hugh Salmon down to look at Rupert in his environment. Hugh's main fear is a worrying condition called swine fever that causes ulcers in the digestive tract and includes symptoms such as loss of appetite.
Well, do you know, I've never come across a pig as friendly as this chap. Come here, boy, let's have a look down here.
But with nothing apparently wrong with Rupert, Hugh backs Mark's theory it's down to eating smelly food.
Systemically and generally, he's in superb condition. I would assume that this foul-smelling odour is something he's picking up in the field.
Find out if a few dietary adjustments sort out the hoggy halitosis later. And from one stench to another. In North London, Terrapins Dick and Phil have been turning stomachs with a reptilian whiff so vile they are facing potential eviction.
Take a deep breath.
Mark blamed an incorrect environment that was causing the Terrapins to literally rot away. Today, Anna and her daughters are taking Mark's advice and getting a top-of-the-range, tailor-made new home for their long-suffering pets. First up, the tank.
Wow, they won't even know what's hit them, will they? I don't think they've ever been in anything that big before.
Mark has also recommended a filter. This should do away with Anna's never-ending cleaning rota, but she'll still have to be vigilant.
You will have to do partial water changes fairly regularly, even with a filter. Filter doesn't do the job.
Not every 3 or 4 days, though.
You shouldn't have to do too much. Probably about a 50% water change every few days.
They're also replacing the Terrapins' household light with a UV lamp to keep them bathed in healthy rays. And this too will need to be kept in good working order.
After about 10-12 months, there's very little UV actually coming out of them. So replace this yearly.
Dick and Phil are yellow-bellied terrapins from the southeastern United States, so need a water temperature kept at around 25 degrees Celsius, making a thermostatically controlled water heater essential. There's also a cork platform and a heat lamp to give the cold-blooded creatures somewhere to bask. This terrapin shopping trip has clocked up a few £100s, but releasing them into the wild could lead to a hefty fine or up to 2 years in prison, which certainly makes terrapins something not to be taken on lightly. Back at home, it's all a little less straightforward than it seemed.
This looks quite complicated. I can't remember what they all are. What is this one? I'm in danger of confusing things, so let's be systematic. That's the most scary plug I've ever plugged in. Am I meant to put this under the water?
Yes.
This wire? I'm a bit scared of that.
We'll see if Anna gets to grips with the terrapins' new home, and if they're feeling less rotten when they return to the clinic. Now to help more mortified owners with their animal problems in our Pet Shame gallery. Right, Mark, in our gallery today, Miranda Sherlock has sent in a snake with blistering of the skin. Oh, that looks awful.
Blisters of snake skin can be caused by something like a burn. Like
burn?
Like a thermal injury, yeah. And obviously, you know, people are trying to do the right thing. They're putting heat lamps in, they're putting hot rocks in the cage. You know, snakes will curl up on these and not really know how strong the heat is.
If it's not a burn, what else could it be?
If it's not a burn, it's probably a reaction to its environment being too damp. Okay, so either the substrate, you know, the bedding it's on is too wet, the humidity is too high. And what that does is it causes blisters, and those blisters can then get infected. So if you ever see blisters on your snake, in the skin, go to a reptile specialist, because they'll need treatment immediately before they actually get even worse.
So now we've got Cody, who's a third-generation wolf dog. She's a female, 10 months old, from Wiltshire, sent in by Gary and Nikki Emery.
Look at that squat.
Oh, yeah.
Squat.
So, yeah, Cody's problem is that she wheezes all the time.
Wolves generally are very submissive animals.
Are they?
Yeah, very. This is an underconfident dog. With time, that submission could actually turn into nervous aggression.
Yeah.
And the last thing you want to be bitten by is a wolf cross. This dog needs a serious canine behaviourist.
So now we have Mishi, who belongs to Amanda Camin, and Mishi is a female 3-year-old cat who lives in Herne Hill. What Mishi likes to do is steal the neighbour's laundry. She sometimes steals 10 to 12 items a night, and there hasn't been any previous treatment. She just wears a bell to stop her hunting.
Well, she's bringing home pants and socks, I think, because they're not running away from her. You know, every time she goes to a bird or to a mouse, she's got the bell on, she's obviously scaring them, the bell's working, they're disappearing, and maybe she's scared of actually coming home empty-handed. So she goes to the next best thing, which is a pair of kids' socks or a pair of knickers, picks them up in her mouth, goes home and says to her owner, here, Mum, I've got these for you,
Yeah.
Here's your present. This is a cat's natural instinct, you know, if anything, take the compliment.
I've got to be honest, if I was Amanda, I think I would prefer the neighbour's pants than a dead mouse.
They do look like nice pants.
To find out more about awkward animals, from flatulent felines to foul-mouthed birds, go to sky.com/mypetshame. Great Dane Hope had an awkward issue that was causing her severe irritation and saddling owner Lynn with an intensive round of canine hygiene. Mark suspected an allergic reaction to house dust mites.
Hello. Hiya, you're right. This is Hope. Hello, gorgeous.
Today, Hope is due to receive the results of an intradermal skin test that should confirm her allergy.
Hope reacted to a list of allergens, which were mainly dust mites and house dust.
Storage mites, are they similar to the dust mites?
I'm glad you asked that. Actually, they are. They're very, very similar. Storage mites are present in dry dog food, especially if it's been stored for a very long time. Ensure you don't buy too much dry food at one time and leave it sitting for a long, long period, especially somewhere damp.
Hope now starts a series of desensitising injections to help her immune system react less to her allergic triggers.
She will have the odd flare-up. Expected. It's normal.
Even with the desensitising
Even with the desensitising vaccine, initially.
While Hope's recovery plan kicks in, Mark has recommended her first ever visit to a dog grooming parlour, where she will be bathed in medicated shampoo and treated from top to toe.
I was a little sceptical at the beginning. I was worried that it was going to stress her out, but she's really, really enjoyed it.
Back home, Lynn needs to seriously get to grips with every last bit of dust.
I am cleaning more than I did before, so a lot more hoovering every day, sweeping up, mopping the floors down, wiping all the surfaces of the sofas, any hard surfaces down. With Mark's advice, we have managed to get a good routine going. It's all working, but it is taking a lot more time.
And to clear the air, Lynn's also followed Mark's advice to fit an air filter and use a dehumidifier. We'll be seeing if Hope's itch is finally being scratched out when she returns to the Pet Shame clinic later. Coming up, the Pet Shames return to the clinic to see if their embarrassing problems have been cured.
I don't blame him, to be honest. If I could be lying down in the car, I think I would.